How's it going, YouTube? This is Skull, and welcome to episode 72 of Zootopia Home Video. Today, I am showing off the final release of the film in Russia. It only had 3 releases total: the DVD, the Blu-ray, and today's video is on the 3D Blu-ray release. So, as with the last 2 videos, thank you so much to Igor from Russia for sending me this and all other copies of the film. I know I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry. That's the best I could do. I'm so bad at Russian. Anyway, so without him, this wouldn't have been possible. So thank you so much. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. This is the 3D release of the film in Russia. It was released in Russia on August 16, 2016, just like the other 2 that I showed off already. And this is what it looks like. This actually looks very similar to the 3D Blu-ray release that we saw in Mexico, with this exact same picture that we've seen in most of the 3D releases, where it's Nick and Judy coming right at the camera. Judy's looking at her phone with the animals all behind them, the cityscape. This is a pretty typical look of the 3D release that we've seen for the non-Steelbook releases, but we've got this nice metallic silver border, just all colors of the rainbow. It's really, really cool. Yeah, this strongly reminds me of the Mexico 3D release in that regard. So we got the age rating down there. It comes with the Blu-ray 3D and standard Blu-ray. There are 2 discs in this set, and the age rating down there, off in the corner, nice and tiny, where it's big enough to see it, but small enough to be out of the way. Man, who would have thought that Russia, of all countries, would do that better than anyone else? So on this side, both sides actually are like this nice, shiny, reflective material here. So on this side, we've got Judy at the top, the Disney Blu-ray 3D logo down there, and gotta make sure I point it face down again, Disney's Zootopia, or Zveropolis, whatever it's called. It's Zootopia in Russian. And on the other side, it's exactly the same, but this time we've got Nick at the top instead of Judy. You love to see it, where they put them on each side. So yeah, then on the back, it's, again, pretty much the exact same layout that we have seen in most of the other 3D releases of the film. So there's no Nick and Judy, it's just this palm tree hotel, the cityscape in the background, the blurb. Disc 1 comes with the Blu-ray 3D film. Disc 2 comes with the film plus all the bonus features. Pretty much exactly the same as we've seen in every other country. We still have this star talking about the 3 stars, and it actually covers up the palm tree a little bit there. That is different. And again, I don't know who those people are. Anyway, we got the blurb for the film here. We got the screenshots, the legalese, all that stuff. Yeah. And if we were to take off the slip cover, that's what the release looks like underneath. So it's the exact same cover as the slip, just on a Blu-ray case. The exact same thing here, except this has Nick on the spine. Usually it is Judy, rarely it's Nick, and this time it's Nick. Love to see that. It's, again, something different to set this apart. And then the back is pretty much exactly the same as the slipcover. I don't think that there's any differences whatsoever. I don't see any. So yeah, let me go ahead and show off the inside as well. So we have another transparent background. This is something I've never seen in the back of any other release. We've got the scene of Nick and Judy on the gondola, where Nick pours out his little heart, talking about his incident from when he was 8, maybe 9. And yeah, there it is in the background. That's so cool. You will notice that there's only one place to put discs. Unfortunately, I'm sad about this, but oh well, you know, what can you do? They have to stack the discs on top of each other. So the Blu-ray itself is exactly the same as what I showed off in the last episode. The disc is identical, no differences whatsoever. The cover's the same, the data on the inside's the same, so just refer to that previous video if you want to learn more about that. The 3D Blu-ray looks like this. And this follows a pattern that we've seen in other countries, where the main disc is blue and the 3D disc is silver. I'm not sure if there's some code or some pattern to why that is, but it is that way. So yeah, we got a silver disc with the cover from the 3D Blu-ray art right there on that side. And it is a region-free disc. This plays just fine in my North American 3D Blu-ray player. I watched quite a bit of it in 3D in preparation for this video. It looks the same. In fact, it even picked up right where it left off the last time I played a 3D movie, which was pretty interesting. What all else is there to talk about? Well, both discs are region-free, so if you were to ever obtain a copy of Zootopia in 3D from Russia, of all countries, well, you're good to go with playing it in whatever player you've got. It'll play in every Blu-ray player in the world. The things to note are that, unlike the DVD and the Blu-ray, there are not just English and Russian languages on this. There is also Korean, Spanish, and Portuguese. So, holy cow, for whatever reason, the 3D Blu-ray from Russia includes an extra 3 languages, and guys, if you thought that the Blu-ray was intense with the way that it handled the news anchors, things are about to get even crazier with this. So just like with the Blu-ray, if you were to watch this in English, the news anchor is a koala. If you were to watch it in Russian, the news anchor is a moose. That is exactly the same as what we saw on the Blu-ray. And you're probably wondering, okay, what about the Korean and Spanish and Portuguese news anchors? Well, it is as follows. The Korean one is also a koala, just like English. The Spanish one is also a moose, like the Russian version. And if you were to watch this in Portuguese, it's the cheetah. I thought that the cheetah was only ever on the Portuguese Brazilian copies of the film, but it is on the Portuguese dub of this disc, of the 3D Blu-ray. Probably the 2 hardest countries to get copies of Zootopia from. Both of them have the cheetah news anchor on the disc. Wow, I was not expecting that. And again, it makes me want to go back through every single other language that I've got and double check to make sure that the news anchors are as I reported them. I'm pretty sure I reported them correctly, but now I'm second guessing myself because this is so interesting. There's 3 news anchors on here. I think that the only one missing is the Tanuki from Japan. It's so silly. It's so amazing. You know, I love this release. The nice flashy silver border on the slipcover, the gondola ride scene in the background. Man, I just really love this release, and I'm so thankful to Agor for sending this to me, for sending all these to me. It's also worth noting that there's tiny little 3D symbols in the background there. Well, guys, that brings my coverage of Zootopia from Russia to an end. Thanks to Agor, I have every single release of the film ever to come out in Russia. I am 99% sure Zootopia 2 will not get a Russian release. I don't think I need to explain why I think that way. And that'll bring this episode in this series to an end. I've still got other copies of Zootopia and Zootopia 2 to cover in the future, so make sure you're subscribed. And guys, if you ever want to send me copies of Zootopia, whether it's copies from countries I do not yet own or doubles to help fill up my collection, my mailbox is always open. Just shoot me an email and I'll give you my address and I'll keep adding to my collection as long as people send me stuff. And who knows, maybe someone else in the future will send me yet more copies from other countries I have not yet covered. And I'll be able to cover them in future episodes of Zootopia Home Video. I guess we'll just all have to wait and see together. Thank you again, Agor. Thank you all for watching. And as always, stay tuned for more.